Okay, so what I'm hoping we can tackle for this session. So on this page, I've put together an agenda here. A big shout out to Jeff for helping put a lot of the framework together, as well as setting up the Miro board. Um, there's a few key things. So as we start to introduce the DAO, we kind of have to start from scratch in terms of who we are, what we're doing, why we're doing this, and so come next week, we'll probably have a flood of brand new people in the server. So it's very much like an orientation. It might have to happen a few times. Um, what I can also walk through is a bit of the roadmap, at least in the short term, what our major milestones are going to be. Um, I don't know if we should go in depth on all the white paper stuff, but we could talk about these specific roles here. Um, I think eventually, as we launch the DAO, specifically the governance protocols, the DAO halls will be very focused on these specific areas. But for now, since we're kind of just getting started, it's a bit more of this workshop and exercise around our values and vision. Um, so yeah, then towards the end we could just do basic Q&A and feedback. So we'll see how long the whole exercise takes. It's certainly going to be longer when we have a lot more people on probably starting next week. So let's see how far we can go with this one. Hello, Permabuzz.
Hi.
How's it going? Permabuzz, actually, are you part of the team? I don't even, I don't know what account
Yeah,
this is.
it's Christine.
Ah, Christine. Okay, cool. Love the permabuzz. That's great. All right, cool. So yeah, I think what we could do is just start to kick off. So if you guys are all able to join the Miro board, what I think we could start off with is our just member introductions. So for today, we're going to go through is kind of talk a bit through the vision and a mission for the POG DAO, give a few intros to our members and core team, and then Q&A. And what we were able to do last week as a core team was do a bit of an exercise around our brand messaging. So you could see the results of a bit of like the ideas and the concepts and the values that come to mind when we ask ourselves, what is the proof of good DAO? So what we want to do is extend that exercise and enable anybody on this call to also participate. These were the highest voted items from the previous exercise. So what we can do is also add anything that you feel might be missing, and then also being able to add a check mark to vote your top 5 favorite items here. But we'll get to that in a little bit. For now, I think it's just to start to get to know each other and introduce yourself, talk about why you're here, what are you interested in seeing out of the Proof of Good DAO, what should our goals be, what do you think our purpose should be, and then going into the brand and values exercise. So I think that'll be what we focus on for today. Did all of you guys get to participate on this exercise, the one that Jeff ran, the workshop? Just want to see if there's any.
No, I wasn't part of this. I think I was already in vacation mode.
Okay, cool.
Also, the tally document is linked to the right, the initial exercise here.
Yes. Yeah, so if you want to see the actual numbers of votes. So what I did is I took the top green and yellow categories and then plugged them in to this next section here, V1.1. So the 765 were on top, and then the yellow 543 are on the bottom here. So at least kind of filters down to the things that stood out from the first group. And we'll do another shot with this group, and then we could do another shot next week again. So I'll just have to copy and paste the sucker here. Sound good? Any questions? All right. So first exercise we're going to do is, if everyone's on the Miro board now, what we can do is go ahead and add your avatar, your name, your Twitter handle into the member introductions, just so we get to know who you are. And then we kind of have participants in the DAO recorded for posterity, so that way, you're kind of this whole thing, and we'll have this history of DAO Hall agendas and Miro boards to kind of show how we've evolved over time. So go ahead and take a minute and um, go ahead and insert your photo, avatar, PFP, and your name. The way you do it is just click on the actual image there, and then you can replace it. Oh wait, why is that not doing that? There you go. So if you click on the image, you can hit this replace image button, and then upload whatever it is you want. So go ahead and try to play around with that. Allow us to make sure the settings are correct on the board. And no worries, Benet and Jeff, since you're traveling right now. I imagine you can't do that as easily on mobile.
Yeah, I can't do that at all right now because mobile, and we're going karaoke singing, so I have to tap out.
Okay.
But so the one thing that I wanted to contribute today, the one word that I didn't see on the Miro board for what the DAO is, I think I would add hope, because that's the first word that came into my mind.
Okay, so after you've gone ahead and put your photo up and your handle, the next exercise is go ahead and pick a sticky note in the section number 3 and just write down why did you join this community, the POG DAO. What inspired you, what interested you, who forced you to. So pick a post-it, copy and paste it, and then just go ahead and plug it in. Anything you want to share with us. Shahul, would you like to share some of your thoughts here on why you joined?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So my interest was just to learn how those auctions are being built up. I mean, the mechanism, how those are being made, and also the governance tokens, how they are being dealt behind. So all these are really exciting for me. So I would like to know more about that.
Hey, cool. All right, like that. We could definitely go into that for sure in more depth and detail.
Yeah.
And Nico, see you're also adding some stuff there too.
I don't know. I didn't really finish, or I don't really know what I want to put, but to actually give a purpose, this whole thing has, a meaning, an impact. The purpose of why we are actually doing that is because it means something to to us, to other people, to improve improve the world overall. I don't know, it's very broad, but yeah, just purpose is the word that was coming to my mind.
That's great, man. Yeah, it's beautiful to hear you say that too. Because it's funny, like it feels like it's been such a grind for like a year and a half. So it's refreshing to kind of know we're all really in it for, the impact and the mission. All right, cool. So yeah, thanks for those samples, guys. All right, so we'll just pretend that we've got a lot more people adding in their stuff too. We'll talk through it just so people can kind of express themselves and their identity. So the next section is, what do you want the POG DAO to accomplish? So same exercise here. Go ahead and copy a post-it note and plug in anything you'd like to say or what you think our goal should be as a DAO. And Hubert, feel free to chime in. I see you trying to take a stab at the post-its too. All right. Elijah, why don't you go first since you've got your post-it and we skipped you for last section.
I didn't put anything for the last one, so that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so well, at least from a technological perspective or development, you're passionate about and what I do a lot of, it'd be great to have an API in my shoes or in the shoes of a third-party organization where you want to reward people for doing good. We have a system set up to where we have a team or some sort of system that validates people's good acts, and now we can pass that along to this proof of good DAO and get that validated, get that on the blockchain, and then we can start rewarding our users. So I think that'd be really cool.
Nice. Love it. And Nico, would you like to speak about yours?
Yeah, in the what I really would like to see is really this autonomous community or decentralized community that actually drives the doing good, decide what is good, validate what is good or not, and it's not this this centralized or government control. Basically, the community takes control of doing good. We not being told what doing good is, and it's really giving the power to people in the hands of people, and the community decides, not just one single entity.
Yeah, I am so with you, man. 100%, 100% with you. All right, Shahul.
Yeah, I just mentioned to play fair play. Like I've said, since it's community work, there's no dictatorship. We said that already. So I just wanted to have, I mean, the people to have equal access. So everybody owns everything. So nobody can really give orders one to the other, right? So I wanted that way, like equal access and have a transparency as well. So yeah, everything is to be transparent so that everybody knows what we are doing, and everything is what we love with Leyline, the transparency and the visibility to everyone. Yeah, I would like to have that accomplished. Yeah.
All right, cool. Love it. And yeah, I would say a very powerful theme that we're gonna probably run into a lot is very much about community. Community is really everything in Web3. A Web3 project basically is dead if it has zero community, because that's where the engagement activity comes from, but also the value of your tokens is driven by that. So yeah, it's a good call out. And Hubert.
Yeah, so this is my note. This is kind of what I want to envision proof of the DAO to be like. People feel valued. We're all in the same mindset with all the same goal in mind, and we're just all accepting. You feel like each person has a purpose, and just everything that enrolls with being a community.
Awesome, man. All right. No, I love that. And all right, cool. No, this is good stuff to hear. Oh, and Hubert, you added some stuff. Oh, okay. Great cause, great people. Love to help any way I can. Much love to you, Hubert. That's great. Great to hear. All right. Okay, so to share a bit of yep.
Just a quick comment. In both of the step 3 and 4, you have the point 2 is write a brief note around what inspired you to join.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Is this one more? Maybe the last one should be changed to
What?
to the something else, or
Yeah, something like that.
sound already better.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, this is that. Thank you. That's a good one. And I think as we populate this one may also be a good one to have some votes on section 4, because if there's something that really stands out, I think we can add in community votes here. So I've got a check mark. Let me see if I could add this section here. All right. So I think what we can do is, as people put a bunch of goals down there, we could even have people add a check mark to some of their favorite goals or things that they want to vote for, if that works. So go ahead and copy this check mark 5 times. Maybe I should make it smaller. And then pick your faves and vote away. Maybe 5 votes is too much. Anyway, again, this is just a little bit of a fake exercise, but you get the point, hopefully. All right. Okay, cool. So that'll be a fun exercise to see with a broader group. After you're done placing your votes here, next section is a continuation of a brand exercise that Jeff had spearheaded. So what we essentially did is ask the question, in your head, when you say proof of good DAO is blank, what are the words that come to mind when you think about it after reading the white paper, seeing the website, being a part of the community, being a part of the team? What stands out to you? So this is the result of that one exercise with a few of our team members, and we distilled it down to the top items here. Oops, I don't know if we need the X here. And the exercise, I think, for us is one, take a read through these key items here that got voted up the most from the team exercise. If there's an important brand value or principle that might be missing from this list, feel free to add a sticky on your own. Just copy and paste a green one over here. And after that, let's do the same thing where copy that check mark and then place a vote, 5 votes on any one of the items that really stand out to you. And you could put all 5 on one item if you feel super strong about that one item, or you could spread it around as much as you like. So that's the next exercise here. So yeah, take a few minutes to kind of think through what it is you'd like to emphasize or what resonates with you the best. There's no wrong answers here, no bad suggestions. Just feel free to contribute as you'd like.
I'm just adding the one Bene said before he left, which was hope.
Oh yeah, perfect. Thank you. I'm totally voting that one in too. And Leah, sorry we didn't get to get you any sticky notes from you, but verbally, if you'd like to add anything for why you joined, what do you want the POG DAO to accomplish as we're kind of tallying our votes here? Anything you'd like to share for the group? Yeah, I agree. I think that is a big part of it. And even if you take a look at like our core mission, it's really to make altruism provable and profitable. And this idea that if you do a good thing right now, it costs you money, it costs you time, it costs you energy, and you actually don't get a return on doing that good. And what if there's a world where every good deed that you did do actually benefited you economically? I think that is an interesting, world to live in, and potentially beautiful world, because it's just aligning the right incentives. So I 100% agree. I think it's very core to our mission is building something that we could both trust and then, provide abundance for everybody aligned to the right behaviors that we want to see.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's take a look at what we got here. So yeah, there's a number of them that looks like 3 votes seems to be the most votes any one item is getting. So I'll start with the 3 vote ones. Democratic, open, powered by community, no dictatorship, trustworthy, with real world application. Those seem to stand out there. 2 votes, impactful, evolving, empowering, based on good acts, hope. And 1 vote, human, humble, trusted and trustless, transformative, and transparent. All right. So yeah, I'd love to get your thoughts on some of the 3 votes. Anybody want to share some of why they chose certain ones, what really resonates, and yeah, would love to just hear any insights or opinions here.
I guess I'll start.
the real world application, and then what else? The powered by community. Of the ones I chose, the ones that got 3 marks are those 2, and I feel like those are, sentences or phrases that any user can kind of, like, be curious about, so I feel like it not only be good for the proof of DAO, like, brand messaging and stuff, but it might be, like, a good way to, like, reach them, 'cause, I feel like a lot of people can resonate with the community, and a lot of people, no matter where they're coming from, would like to have real world application to, like, help people, so yeah.
All right, great. Democratic was also a hot topic last time around. And Nico, I know you were able to kind of speak a bit to this one. Want to share any thoughts that you have there?
Sorry, was it the Democrat?
Yeah, Democratic.
Democratic. What did I say last time? Yeah, I mean, this is really because it's governed by the. It's really governed by the people, or should be. So there isn't really anyone that decides for anyone else. It's really about this consensus between people, and everyone has his word to say or to contribute. So yeah, that's really what it means to me.
Yeah, and I'm actually also personally passionate about this one too. In that, there are a lot of flaws in the current democratic system today. It does tend to be better than most other governance systems, but it still has its own pitfalls. And there's almost an opportunity for us in the Web3 world and with DAOs and decentralizing to really further evolve and improve the way democracy functions. Uh, in particular, I think the fact that it ties to the whole concept of no dictatorship, where there isn't any centralized control in properly decentralized projects, and the community does get to participate in a much more equitable fashion through democratic principles and democratic mechanics. So I think this is something that actually personally excites me a lot. I think throughout history, you could see that the challenge with centralized power is that many of these individuals who sit at the top of that pyramid that have all the power tend to get corrupted, because what happens is that people with special interests that want to get a favor or have their particular agenda or needs met will basically go to the people in power and basically offer them, whatever deal is going to benefit them. So over time, it tends to warp the incentives of the people that are in power. So centralized control often ends up leading to corruption. So I think decentralized control is a massive innovation when it comes to social systems. So it's something I'm very deeply passionate about and excited about when it comes to DAOs. So yeah, I think we're going to be experiencing a lot of cool stuff here as we launch our DAO. And it's also why I think it's important that we bring in experts from the field of political science and governance and ethics and economics, because we're essentially trying to recreate democracy in a very different way. So yeah, we're definitely gonna want some experts here to keep us honest and to help us really study this thing properly.
Wait, Jeremy, I have a question about that.
Mhm.
If we have
Yeah,
so,
sure, please.
everyone says that, like, wow, like, this technology is new. So it's like almost every company right now that is involved with NFTs and blockchain trying to create their own infrastructure, and like we're one of them, or are we trying to revolutionize how like a lot of different companies are gonna like take on this technology?
I think it's a bit of the former. I think what's interesting is that everyone is able to take their own approach to how they want to run their DAO or to build the governance. But I think another criteria, or rather another quality very common in Web3, is actually open source. So as any project starts to pursue a DAO and functionality and mechanics, if they choose to open source it, they're basically liberating that knowledge so that any other future project can basically learn from that implementation, literally copy and paste it by forking it, and then launching that governance model or DAO to build their own special purpose organization. So I think there's something really beautiful in that we are going to see a lot of entrepreneurs and different approaches to how we could potentially govern ourselves. And there's going to be winners and losers, and then the models that actually do succeed and do accomplish what they're um, trying to do can be replicated by any other number of innovators and entrepreneurs. And I think that's a very good thing because it gives diversity of offerings to people and freedom of choice. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that did that totally makes sense. And so it sounds like this creation of the protocol is always going to be attached to the market of the company's own NFT marketplace, if you will, right? Because ours being the proof of good, like backpacks, right?
Yeah, and the NFTs are going to be specific to our DAO and our membership, but that actually doesn't prevent it from in the future being compatible in any number of other Web3 projects. And in fact, it's our desire to make our NFTs usable across the metaverse. So one example, one of our partnered projects, Billionaire Zombies Club, our goal is actually by participating in their DAO, we would actually have our NFT backpacks available inside their metaverse game. And what I'm going to propose to them is basically, hey, if you have a metaverse or if you have a POG pack and you log into the Billionaire Zombies Club game, the metaverse game, and you level it up with certain good points, you would then be able to run 2% faster. So those kind of like utility use cases are kind of the end game for a lot of what we are building with our POG packs. And you basically be able to take your POG pack and log into CryptoVoxels or Sandbox or the Decentraland and then have them render in that particular universe's style and then have some utility attached to it. So that's kind of the broader vision of where these POG packs can go and how useful they can be, and hopefully have certain utility in certain games, like being able to store inventory items, et cetera, et cetera. So there's going to be a big focus on partnerships and integration, and really open protocols are the way we're going to thrive, because the more compatible you make it for every other metaverse game or metaverse world, the more value it adds to those users as well as to ours. So it's a win-win scenario.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah, great question. Love that. All right. Any other standouts here? Anybody want to share some comments or thoughts, something that resonates deeply with you guys? Anything that doesn't, that you'd want to put an X mark on, be like, no, this doesn't feel right?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to talk about this democratic dictatorship that we have already spoken. So yeah, since this DAO needs a constitution or something like that, right? So this has to be stated by the community. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Like, since it's democratic, since everybody wanna participate in that, so there isn't any dictatorship in that. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys.
Yeah, that is a great call. And speaking of constitution, the way I kind of envision it is that our white paper is that initial constitution. And what's going to happen is that as we evolve the specifications and the protocol, we do that by introducing proposals in a DAO. So if I were to kind of explain the mechanism behind that, if you look at nouns at WTF and you go to their DAO, essentially what they do is you go in there, you log in with your NFT, and you create a proposal. That proposal could be, hey, I would like to make an adjustment to our DAO governance specifications, and I propose that we change the way voting is set up. So basically, this is the white paper is our baseline from where we start. but it was always evolve, and the only way we modify this is through a proposal that gets voted in by the community. So a community member makes a proposal, the community votes it yes or no, and then if it's approved, then we make the changes to the specifications. So in very many ways, it kind of models how, the US Constitution operates to some degree. So we'll actually introduce proposals to change the way governance works and how proposals work. So this initial spec is kind of purposefully incomplete because I think I didn't want it to just be, hey, this is my vision of exactly how this works, and then that's it. I think it should be open to the entire DAO to make recommendations on what we should change here. And then it opens up interesting discussions and allows us to get together here during these DAO halls and have those conversations, and to make sure that before we finally approve something, that there is context, that people have had a chance to explain their perspectives and their views, and hopefully bring some information to enlighten the rest of the group.
So this will be the more efficient way of governing, to protect anything quarrel in the future, something like that. So this would be the more efficient way of governing the constitution, or creating that the constitution, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe not necessarily efficient, but certainly much more effective and much more participative. Because right now, a lot of how democratic governments work is it's very much through representation. You just vote for, a handful of people to represent every decision to be made. And you have to put your blind trust in them that they're going to operate in your best interests and not special interests, which unfortunately is not often the case anymore. So in this scenario, any single change that's going to happen to the protocol is you participate in that. You can vote that in, you can have a say in it. That's a very big difference than representative government. It's much more direct democracy, which also has its own pitfalls too, because we could fall prey to mob mentality or manipulation. So we're going to start to have to think about how do we build scalable representation into this particular model, so that way we don't fall prey to some of the pitfalls of direct democracy.
Gotcha. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yep. Yeah, your questions. Hey, Richard. Good to see you, man. Thanks for popping in.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, we got a lot going on. So we got a lot to bring you up to speed with. But we're in the midst of doing our trial run, our practice run for the DAO Hall. And you can take a look at some of the work we're doing on a Miro board. We're actually going to repeat this exercise next week when we open it up to the broader community. This is kind of like our internal team dry run, basically. And I think we're almost wrapping up with this part of it. Anything else you guys want to comment on regarding values and brand messages? And
yeah, sure. Chime in. So personally, I think one of the most important things to me, at least, is with the real world application. I think it'd be pretty cool if one day I could, have some maybe special perks for the amount of good you done, or even just simply bragging to your friends, or when it gets accepted to the mainstream media, like, hey, how much points do you have, or just things like that. And for people joining, do they need to have a Miro account and all that set up?
I don't think so. When you guys jumped in, oh wait, everybody has a Miro account on our side, right?
Yeah.
But I do know in the settings, anybody with the link can edit, so it is open to the public in general.
Gotcha.
Which could be dangerous, but we're gonna take the risk and see how it goes. Hopefully, you don't get any bad apples messing around. But to your point, Hubert, that's a great call, because the idea behind an open protocol is that on Web3, that proof of good ledger, that it's a record of every good deed ever made. That's the vision, and it's open for basically any service to use it. So if you have, say, your MetaMask wallet logged into the proof of good protocol or the ledger, and you log into any other metaverse world or game, it'll actually be able to pull up your good score or your good points. And each of those services can basically provide perks, benefits, utility, or whatever they want based off of the amount of good points you have. So very much it can be a reputation score, which could be used as a gating mechanism to unlock certain benefits or perks. So
that's
I
you.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that I think is there's huge potential there, and then opening it up to the entire metaverse is really key. So we want to make sure that this data is freely available and public to all.
gotcha. Yeah, that's really cool. So basically, main goal is kind of just to everybody to adopt this protocol, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the hook is that, we're basically building our treasury to have like airdrops and token drops for anyone that's participating in the economy. So not only are you're not just doing it for the sake of doing good, you actually have a monetary incentive to onboard and be a part of the protocol, because then you have an NFT and then you get monthly airdrops of POG tokens for your contributions. We do have to work out the economics there, but that's really very much the idea, is that the treasury will be funded from all the NFT transactions, and then portions of that will be distributed out to the community, the people that are participating in this ecosystem. And the idea is just keep on growing that forever.
That is epic, and opportunities are endless, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty bananas, I have to say. So yeah, at a future town hall, we'll go through our tokenomics paper. What I also wanted to do was go through a bit of our upcoming roadmap, and then maybe after that, just whatever questions you guys have, and then we can probably wrap it up. But I'd love to hear some feedback on the format, what we could do to improve, what to prepare for when we do this thing for real next week. And let me actually pull up the pitch deck. I think this is the right one. All right. So, and Nico, this is something love to figure out how to get onto the website at some point. But it's basically talking through what are the kind of next big moves for us for the proof of good DAO. So a lot of this stuff is actually the proof of concept work that we did. So Leyline was very much like our alpha test, our proof of concept about, hey, can we actually incentivize people to do good and earn points, get rewards for that, and then be a part of this community? And the answer is certainly a resounding yes, because that's something that we built over at Leyline, and I think will continue to grow and evolve. And for the first half of 2022, what we're going to focus on is first producing our first NFTs for the POG DAO. And every NFT that we drop is going to be a membership NFT. So if you own a POG pack, you are a DAO member, and allows you to vote on governance and get airdrops and get utility. You could sell it if you want as well. And that gives you access to the DAO. So we launched the DAO, and essentially this allows DAO members to create proposals, to vote on proposals, and to then ultimately update the white paper and then the protocol itself. Then there's the actual protocol, the proof of good ledger. So the proof of good ledger is basically an open database that's going to store all of those good deeds. The proof of good oracles, these are the social impact orgs, the charities, academic institutions, our partners that are validating those good deeds, are the ones that are going to write to that proof of good ledger. And when they do that, that's when users actually gain their good points because it's been validated by an oracle. So now that people are earning good points, the next thing is you can now spend those good points or spend crypto to purchase the POG Pack NFTs. So this drop is actually going to be free for all of our early adopters and early supporters. And for anybody that wants to join after that, we'll be selling one NFT per day for crypto, and then one NFT per day for good points. So you use your good points to purchase NFTs or to level up your NFTs. Later on in the second half of 2022, we're going to continue to focus on building out these decentralized digital identity that maps your good points to any other services across the metaverse, and then continue to evolve your POG packs so they have more and more utility in different partnered games. So that's kind of the view, or rather the focus for 2022. And this is certainly going to evolve over time. Like, actually, we have no idea what the DAO is going to decide. It's really going to be the community that, you know, presents ideas and pushes, you know, what a roadmap is going to look like priority wise. So yeah, just to wrap up, any questions, thoughts, feedback, anything you guys want to throw out there?
So the main way to get the good points would be through do good at the Leyline site, right?
Actually, it's going to be based off of the oracles that we have. So if you take a look at, you know, the way the protocol works, Leyline will actually be one of many oracles plugged into this proof of good API. So yes, you can earn good points by participating in the Leyline community. Leyline's focus will really hone in on ending poverty in these, you know, underserved communities. But we're going to onboard other social impact orgs and other protocols so that you can earn good points through volunteering and donating to those organizations. So once we have the ledger and a protocol in place, we're going to want to onboard dozens and dozens of POG oracles. And as they start to write to the ledger, that's where users are earning their good points and bidding on auctions. And because we're aiming to have those daily auctions drive a significant amount of revenue, if you take a look at Nouns DAO that I showed you before, you can see the active bids on these are quite high. That's 42 Ethereum right there. That's 50, which is approximately $200,000 per day. The idea is that we are funding this treasury significantly, and then a portion of that treasury is going to actually support those proof of good oracles. So they have an economic incentive, both from the treasury, but also from the users contributing and donating to their causes. So really it creates this like regenerative cycle, and all of the outputs are really about optimizing impact and optimizing social good.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Yep. All right. Other questions, other comments, feedback on the process and the actual DAO Hall format. Anything you guys want to recommend or change?
I know you're planning on doing another run through, but are the recordings being made of this one or the next one?
Yeah, I think Leah is recording this session, and then I think every single one we're probably going to want to do a recording, which gives us some content that we can cut and clip and post onto other socials, or for the folks that are in different time zones, for them to be able to catch up. And in essence, like, we kind of need to record this for posterity, because as people are voting on proposals, if they want to get the kind of the walkthrough or the broader perspective on a proposal, this is the venue where we're going to address those. So yeah, we're going to record every one of these. So if you have any thoughts or comments or suggestions, go ahead and just DM me on Slack or Discord. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting year, guys. 2022. We're going to be pushing hard and aiming to get a lot of our funding in place to really staff up and scale, to activate a lot of partnerships, to really deliver and ship all the Web3 NFT and DAO functionality. I think a lot of these key pieces are starting to come together and get us focused. So it's going to be an exciting year. And I thank you all for being a part of this thing. Like, it really means a whole lot. I'm super excited, and yeah, we're going to make a big difference, and also make sure you guys get some nice NFTs and token drops out of this too. So let's do this. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a great week. Have a great day.